So let's give a pool name. So we will give it as demo user pool. Okay, you can either select default settings and create the user pool within seconds, or you could step through the settings. So we will be stepping through the settings so to look what all options the Cognito user pool provides to us. So here we can see that we have been given the options how you want the your end users to sign in. Okay, so we need to select how you want to authenticate the users using either the email or the phone number or both. For now I will go with an email address. Next section we could see which attribute we need while signing up. We could even add custom attributes, and I'm not going to add any custom attributes for now. So we will be selecting the email and we won't be selecting any custom attributes. Okay, then we will be stepping to the next step. Now we will be asked to give the password strength. So here they are asking about defining the password policy as well as the sign up criteria. So we will be keeping it as default for now. You can change it according to your preferences, and we want the users to sign up themselves. We do not want administrator to create the user accounts. Okay, so we will be going with the default settings over here. Now you could also enable multi-factor authentication for your users, but we will be skipping this for demo purposes. Okay, and we will be clicking on the next step. Then you could also customize the email address. Okay, so this you can use like if you want your if like you want to customize your email messages. So when a user signs up, he will get an email to confirm his account. Okay, so you could customize that message over here. So your verification code and like what sort of template you want to follow, you can give it over here. Okay, so I will be going with the default and clicking on next. I do not want to add any tags, so I will be clicking on next step. Do you want to remember your user device? I will be selecting no. And which app clients will have access to this user pool? So we will be creating the app client later on. So click on next. And if you want to add any triggers, so like with a pre-authentication or post-authentication, you could add it from here. Click on next, and here you could review all of the settings that you have made. And if you think all of the settings that you have made is correct, you can proceed with create pool. Okay, so a new user pool has been created successfully. Okay, and this is your pool ID and the pool Amazon resource number. Okay, so now you can visit to the what you could say the app client settings, the domain name. Okay, and you could provide your subdomain. So you could you could either use your own domain or you could provide a custom domain. So let me check which domain would be available. So let me give it test domain app. So this is a subdomain that you could use. So check for availability, and the domain is available, so I can save the changes. Okay, and here you could see my domain has been locked. Now basically I could go through the app client, and I can create an app client. Okay, so add an app client. You need to give a name to your app client. So we will be selecting let's say demo app. Okay, and keeping you could set the refresh token expiration. So the tokens that will be generated after successful login, you could set the expiration dates of those tokens as well. And you do not have to create the client secret since it is no longer supported by the Java SDK. So I will be unchecking this box, and rest of all the things I will be keeping as default, and we will be creating the app clients. Okay, so here you could see we have the app client ID, and the app client secret is not been generated since we have unchecked this option. Okay, now since we have generated our app client successfully, we can go through the app client settings and select all of the identity providers and enable, and we can also give the callback URL. So the callback URL is used, so when you have successful login, you will be redirected to the callback URL, and when you log out, you will be redirected to the logout URL. So for demo purpose, what I will be doing is we will be using demo URL, which is nothing but example.com. So that's this domain. So we will be using this domain, but in the real world you will be putting your application URL over here. Okay, then we will be selecting the option of implicit grant. So we want our tokens to be passed within the URL. Okay, and we will be checking, we need to allow these attributes to be gathered when a user signs up. Okay, and then as you could see, we have an hosted UI option. So Cognito provides you with the hosted UI if you do not have one, and you can customize it as well. Okay, or you could integrate your own custom web page of your application. So the option is yours. So you can save the changes and you get a hosted UI, as you could see, using which you can sign up. But for now we need to create a Google sign-in as well. So to integrate Google, you could go into identity providers and you could see that there is a Google identity provider. Okay, and it meets the app ID, the secret, and the authorized scope. So what we will be doing is we will be going to the Google console. Okay, Google Cloud Console, and we will be creating a new project over here. Okay, so let's go and let's create a new project. Let's give the project name as Google Sign Up. Okay, and let's create. So give it some time. Within 10 to 15 seconds it will create the Google project. And yeah, so the project has been created and you need to select the project. So as you could see, the project has been selected. Now you need to browse to the API and services and the OAuth consent screen. Okay, now you will be presented with the OAuth consent screen. Within the OAuth consent screen, you need to select external, since we want our Cognito to be used within with the Google Auth, and click on create. Okay, next you will be asked for the application name and the support email ID. Okay, so for the application name, I will be giving the app name as let's say demo Google sign up. Okay, demo Google sign up, and I will be adding the support email ID. And if you want, you can fill these settings, but it's not necessary, so I will be skipping it for now for the demo purpose. And I could also add authorized domains. Okay, so we need to add an authorized domain which can use our Google login, so no malicious actor can use it against any other URLs. So let's put the URL as amazoncognito.com. So we want to use Cognito with our Google login. Okay, so only this domain will be able to use our Google login. Okay, then we click on save and continue. We need to also provide the email address of the developer, so we'll be keeping it as same for now. Okay, and click on save and continue. Now you will be provided with the scope screen. So scopes are nothing but attributes that you want to transfer, okay, or that you want to send when you successfully log in using Google in a third-party application. Okay, so what all information you want that third-party application to view, you could define it over here. For now we will skip it, and we don't want to test anything, so we can skip it now. You can see the summary over here. So since we have done the OAuth consent screen successfully, we can go to the credentials tab, and we can create a new credential. Okay, selecting OAuth client ID, and we will be presented with the we will be selecting the web application. We want to create a web application and we want to add an authorized JavaScript domain ID. So here you will be having your domain name, so you can find your domain name within app integration. When you click on app integration, you can find a domain name over here. You just copy it and add it in the authorized domains section, and in the redirected URIs you need to add it to the you need to add /auth2/idp response, which stands for identity provider response. Okay, and then you need to create the application. Okay, so this will create an OAuth client ID and will generate the client ID and the secret. So you could use this client ID and the secret within your application. So you can go click on Google and just paste it over the client ID and the secret. Okay, and you can provide the scopes as well, which is profile, email, so what all attributes you want, profile, email, and the open ID. Okay, and click on enable Google. So as you could see, the identity provider has been successfully updated, and you also want to do attribute mapping, otherwise it won't work, because some attributes in Google and some attributes in Cognito are having uppercase and lowercase properties. So let's click on the email attribute and select that we want the email to be mapped to the email attribute, and click on save changes. Okay, and next we are going to go to the app client settings and enable Google identity provider as well. Okay, and click on save changes. Now if you click on launch hosted UI, you could see an option of continue with Google over here as well. So go into the users and groups. You can see no user has been created till now and neither a group has been created. Now you can click on continue with Google and you can select one of your accounts to log in. So I've selected I've selected the account. Okay, let's select this account and it should successfully log in. So login has been successful, and within the URL you can see the access token and the ID token. So the tokens is been passed as a parameter, as I said earlier. Okay, and if you go into the Cognito dashboard and refresh, you can see that a Google user has successfully signed in. It's an external provider, its email ID and the time it has been created and the Google username. Okay, now you can also sign in within the Cognito using this sign up forum. Okay, so you can click on sign up. You could provide your email ID and password and sign up into Cognito, and this user will be added into the user pool. So let's find a temporary mail for now for signing up. So it's taking some time to load, I guess. Yeah, it has been generated. So click take this email ID and basically set a password that you want. Okay, so it needs see, if the password policy does not match, it will give you an error, so you want to be accurate about it. Okay, and click on sign up. A confirmation code will be sent to the particular email account. Okay, so let's wait for the confirmation code. If it comes, yeah, so here you could see a confirmation email has been sent and the verification code is this. So let's enter the verification code and confirm the account. And as you could see, you have been successfully redirected to the callback URL with the ID token and the access token, right? So the client has been successfully authenticated. In a real world application, these tokens will then further be used by our client application to make further requests to your backend. Okay, and in the Cognito dashboard, you could see that a new user has been created and the account status is confirmed